It starts as a blank sheet of paper. Then the words are added. Words of thanks. Words of hope. Words with power. The words of villagers in the high Himalayas. And before they are through, their impact will be felt locally, nationally, internationally. The village is Salgari, located in Sikkim, an isolated border state of northeastern India. A village where life is hard. A village lacking the most basic services. But life is improving here. The women and men of Salgari were involved in a project supported by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. A project to improve small livestock production. They were involved from the very beginning because this project was designed to use methods that depend on their participation. Methods that involve paying close attention to the differing roles and priorities of the women, the men, and the children in the community. It is called participatory and gender-responsive development planning. But the jargon doesn't matter to the Salgari families involved in this project. For them, this is about new and better ways to raise poultry. Not a massive project in the global scheme of things, but important for these families. And their successes have been important too. There have been individual successes. Geeta Maya Rai opened this small shop with the money she's made from selling eggs. And successes for the entire village. The children are healthier because they are eating more eggs and meat. And there's been another kind of success. As the villagers write their letter to the government, they believe that someone will listen, and more importantly, that someone will respond. That's what they're saying. This video introduces a process for taking agricultural development planning into new territory. The project we feature in this presentation had no blueprint. Its success depended on two-way dialogue between villagers and planners, and their flexibility to respond to diversity. The path that leads into Salgari is steep and slippery. But DURGA UPRETI knows it well. She has come regularly to this village as a member of the project staff. She comes to spend time with the men and women who live here, to speak and to listen, to teach and to learn.
This really gives me tremendous satisfaction to go back with them, work with them, and see the changes in day-to-day life.
Now she's making a different journey, to Rome. To the international headquarters of FAO.
And welcome to all of you. It is my pleasure, as Chief of the Women Development Service of FAO.
She and her colleague, Arshopa, a senior planning officer with the Government of India, join other development workers who also have hands-on experience in FAO projects in 12 developing countries.
Will you please stand up? Yes, thank you and welcome.
They have all been invited for a unique 5-day event designed for field workers and planners from around the world to get together and share experiences, to talk to each other about what works
9 villages in Namibia
and what doesn't work.
That involves communities and agricultural plants.
When you are involved in a project with the women and men of a remote village. Interpreters in 3 languages are on full-time staff. Language should not inhibit communication.
We all have common experiences. We've all been working in this, so we're bringing our best practice to the meeting. And of course we have the help of the interpreters, otherwise we'd be stuck.
Workshop participants come from Africa and from Asia,
This is the first priority.
from Latin America, and from the Near East. Their projects are all different. They deal with nutrition, or agriculture, fisheries, or forestry. But what they have in common is that local women and men were involved right from the start in the planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation phases, and that the needs and priorities of both women and men were taken into account. So at the end of this workshop, not only will there be new friendships, new understanding, new professional links, there will also be a planning framework, because all of the best ideas, all of the success stories will be harvested by FAO as the basis for a how-to guide for development workers, planners, and policymakers around the world to make sure that the words of the people are heard and that those words become part of the planning process. VICKI Wilde is the workshop facilitator.
The purpose was to bring together people from 4 different regions who have the hands-on direct experience in implementing ideas that FAO are basically ideas, but in the field they are real, and we needed to bring those people in so we could learn from them. I'm here to harvest what they have to say and to ensure that what they have to say is integrated into our work.
Stella Williams represents a fisheries project in Nigeria. She says this is the workshop she's been looking forward to all her life.
Well, what comes out of it is friendship. We get to know each other. We get to share information about our work. We'll learn from each other.
I have a wealth of experience in agriculture extension, in the training field, and also at planning level. But I believe workshops like this are fora where you can learn from everyone, irrespective of what level you come from.
And I knew we'll have an interaction among all the countries, so we wanted to take back experiences and share our experiences with them also.
DURGA UPRETI journeyed thousands of miles to tell the workshop about her experience, and journeys home when it's over, taking new ideas and information to share with her colleagues and ministry planners. She works in the Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Services, and when the Sikkim government asks FAO to set up a small livestock project, she is appointed liaison and training officer. As a first step, DURGA receives training from an FAO officer specializing in gender issues. She learns the methods that will involve both women and men of the villages in all stages of the project.
Gender is so extremely important in agricultural planning because of the contribution that women have in agriculture production and in general in food security. And as the main aim of FAO is to support food security, we have to look always at the role of both men and women in the agricultural sector.
FAO has learned over the years that no matter how good a project is, no matter how much it is needed, if the villagers themselves do not feel a part of it, if they aren't part of its planning, then the chances of success are greatly reduced. In Salgari and in the village of Fongla, Durga puts into practice the methods she has learned in her training. One of the simple tools she uses is the seasonal calendar. She divides the year according to months, and the women and men fill in the calendar, listing all of their tasks and who accomplishes them. In this case, the calendar reveals that women are responsible for collecting fodder for animals. That means that if this project provides livestock to the village, there will be extra work for the women, unless suitable fodder can be grown nearby. Because the planners have this information, they are able to respond to the villagers' specific needs and capacities. In Salgari, the villagers decide to concentrate on poultry. However, in Fongla, villagers choose to concentrate on goats, because there is space to grow fodder, and the goats can be fed in their stalls, which means no problem of overgrazing harming the environment. So extensionists come to teach the villagers of Fongla about goats, and the people of Salgari how to keep healthier chickens. Tularan and Anita Gurang live in Fongla. They work hard. For them, even a quiet moment at the end of a long day is still spent on small tasks. But because they have been part of the livestock project, life has improved for them. With new income from selling their goats, they have bought timber to extend their home. They've been able to buy a calf, even new kitchen utensils. They say that they appreciate the work of the livestock project. They were proud that Durga consulted them and their friends when the project was being designed, and that their requests were respected. They've sold 5 goats. These are just some of the success stories that Durga took to Rome. Stories of long-eared goats and income from poultry, but also stories of better lives, better futures. Stories of villagers who took an active part in a project from the very beginning, and who still care enough about it when it officially ends that they continue the work on their own and write to the government requesting new kinds of collaboration. There will be a rich harvest from the workshop. The framework that emerges will be of real value to planners and developers, and of real benefit to villagers, like the people of Fongla and Salgari. The words of the framework will have power, just as the words of their letter.